By chance, I activated a system that allows me to swap bodies with my husband. The moment he found out, he was over the moon, urging me to switch right away. You women have it so easy, he muttered. Just lying around at home all day must be the dream life. I agreed with a smile, but once he went through pregnancy, childbirth, and the pain of periods, he couldn't take it anymore and begged to switch back. Me? I said, too late. Chapter 1. Just after I found out I was pregnant, before I could even share the good news with my husband, I got a call from the mistress. Her mocking voice hit me like a thunderbolt. Tears streamed down my face. It felt like a million sharp teeth were gnawing at my heart. He chased me for 2 years, from school all the way to the altar. Back then, everyone envied me. Now, my heart feels like it's being crushed. We used to love each other deeply, but even the strongest love can't survive time and betrayal. As I sank into grief and confusion, a cold, mechanical voice rang in my mind. Congratulations, host. You've activated the body swap system. Please complete your first exchange. I froze. Was I hearing things? Tentatively. I tested it, and it was real. I could switch bodies with someone. Excitement surged through me. The first person I thought of was my husband. He always said women had it easy, no need to work, shop whenever they want, spend money as they please, while men had to wake up early, bow and scrape to clients, and swallow their pride. Since he thinks being a woman is so easy, let him find out for himself. Chapter 2. With both hands full of grocery bags, I had just stepped through the door when my mother-in-law stormed out of the bedroom yelling, "What? Trying to kill us? Look at the time. Still no dinner on the table. You want my son to starve? Or me, an old woman? He must have done something terrible in his past life to end up with a wife like you." The nagging was relentless. I frowned but didn't respond. I just took the groceries into the kitchen and got to work. This kind of irrational scolding had been routine for years. I'd gone numb to it. "Look at your face, always like a corpse. Just ruins my appetite." She glared and flopped down on the couch to scroll through her phone. By the time my husband came home, nearly 9 p.m., she pounced. "Son, thank God you're home. Your lazy wife's been lounging all day. If I hadn't nagged her, you'd have come home to an empty table." He gave her a perfunctory smile. "That's why we need you, Mom." That fake flattery had her beaming like a fool. At dinner, she kept going. "This veggie's too bland. This stir-fry is greasy. The pork's overcooked." Every dish was made to her exact instructions. But she still had endless complaints. "Lisa, are you doing this on purpose to upset me? Not a single dish suits my taste." "Eric, aren't you going to say something? I'm old already, can't even enjoy a meal in peace. What's the point of living like this?" My mother-in-law slammed her chopsticks on the table, her voice rising with each word. "Lisa, watch yourself. Next time, make sure dinner is decent." As always, my husband backed her up without hesitation. This was his usual stance when conflicts arose between me and his mother. He either ignored it or threw me under the bus. I lowered my head, hiding the hurt, frustration, and resentment in my eyes. Eric was a local here in Jiang City, with 2 apartments under his name. Not exactly a big deal in this city, but compared to me, a girl from the countryside, it was a huge gap. His mother had looked down on me from day one. After I gave birth to a girl, she had even more contempt for me. Before we married, he swore he'd protect me, cherish me, make me happy forever. I even asked him what would happen if I didn't get along with his mom. He hugged me and vowed, "If it really doesn't work, we won't live together. We've got 2 places anyway." But after the wedding, he changed completely. Whenever I brought up living separately from his mom, he'd complain that I was too demanding, that he was tired from work and I shouldn't burden him with such petty drama. He'd guilt-trip me, saying, "She raised me. Why can't you treat her better?" All those promises? Just sweet talk. I tried to endure it, thinking, so many couples live without love. I'll just get by. I even hoped that if I had a son, maybe things would improve. But what about him? He betrayed me, cheated with another woman. If it hadn't been for the mistress calling, I'd still be naively believing he was just too tired to pay attention to me. Maybe this whole marriage had been a mistake. Luckily, fate gave me the body swap system. Otherwise, I might have been lost forever, while I was lost in thought. Dinner was nearly done. My mother-in-law suddenly stood up, smiling sweetly. You all relax. I'll wash the dishes. Don't be fooled by her gentle act. This was all performance. She was playing the victim, trying to show my husband how nice she was to me, and how it was all my fault things didn't work. Sure enough, my husband beamed. Mom, you're the best. But really, elders shouldn't be doing chores. Lisa will handle it. Just like that. The job was tossed to me with a few empty words. Sure, young people should do more, be respectful, but their hypocrisy was revolting. What are you staring at? Hurry up and clean up. It's late. Can't even handle a few dishes? Just because I didn't move right away, Eric snapped, his tone full of blame and disgust. His mom looked smug, even chimed in, she's useless at everything, lazy and greedy, needs proper discipline. I calmly said, Eric, I'm not feeling well. You wash the dishes. Then I looked at him, eyes tired and empty. He stared back, stunned. He stared at me blankly, clearly not expecting me to refuse. Before he could speak, my mother-in-law exploded. A man doing the dishes? That'll make him sick. You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? What kind of daughter-in-law are you? Not working and still trying to slack off from housework. My poor son. How did he end up with someone like you? She jabbed a finger at my nose, launching into another lecture. I remained calm, speaking slowly and clearly. Cooking, cleaning, laundry, what part of this house do I not handle? Just look around, every day this place is spotless. Even a housekeeper gets time off. I'm a human being, not a machine. Isn't it normal to feel unwell sometimes? Without waiting for a response, I picked up my 5-year-old daughter and walked away. See? Look at her. Always throwing a fit when she's called out. What is she? Royalty? Can't take a single word of criticism. Eric, I'm telling you, you'd better keep her in check. My mother-in-law's grumbles echoed behind me. My husband didn't say a word, he just silently cleared the table. Face tense. That immediately triggered her motherly instincts. Oh no, Eric. Stop. You've worked all day. You must be exhausted. Let me do it. And so, in the end, she was the one washing the dishes. Chapter 3. Later that night, after tucking my daughter into bed, I returned to the bedroom only to see my husband slouched against the headboard, eyes glued to his phone, playing a game. 10 whole minutes passed, and he didn't even look at me. All you do is play games. Do we, your wife and daughter, even exist to you anymore? I couldn't hide my irritation. He didn't even lift his head, kept tapping the screen, pretending not to hear me. After all these years together, it was laughable. He couldn't even spare me a single sentence. I walked over and snatched the phone from his hands. Only then did he glance up. Lisa, can you not? You're always so annoying. You get to sit at home all day, chill and do nothing. I bust my ass at work, and now I can't even unwind for a bit. Stop being so dramatic, will you? His face was full of impatience, like I was being unreasonable. I took a deep breath, trying to keep calm. You really think I have it easy? I asked slowly. What else would I think? You don't have a job. You eat whenever you want, buy whatever you like. Most people would kill for your kind of life. Honestly, you just got lucky being born a woman. If the roles were reversed, and you had to deal with clients, chase sales, revise the same proposal 5, 6 times, it would drive you insane. His words were full of irritation and scorn. Ha! He thought being a woman was easy? He had no clue how draining it was to raise a child, take care of the house, and endure his mother's endless nitpicking. Then, would you like to try being a woman? I stared at him, my eyes deep and serious, my tone soft, like some tempting demon whispering in the dark. He blinked, caught off guard by my question. What's there to be scared of? I'd definitely do it better than you. He scoffed. You're sure about that? I asked, voice calm, but eyes intense. I asked again, not quite believing him. He gave me a suspicious look, clearly confused by my persistence. Of course I'm willing. If something that good were actually possible, I'd thank the heavens. All right. Enough of this nonsense. What? You really think you can turn me into a woman? He snatched the phone back from my hands, unlocked it, and reopened his game. I smiled slightly. I can. When he still didn't believe me, I told him everything, how I had activated the system earlier today. He froze for a second, then burst out laughing. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's do it! You always complain about how hard your life is. Let me really show you what struggle means. Maybe then you'll stop whining every day. Once he confirmed that the body switching was real, he got so excited he practically couldn't sit still. Come on, let's swap already. You want to experience hardship? A mocking smile tugged at my lips. Perfect. That's exactly what I had in mind too. Silently, I whispered in my mind, swap. Whoosh. A bright white light flashed. Then everything went black. Chapter 4. Moments later, I woke up, and I instantly realized something was off. As I tuned into the sensations, I confirmed it. I had really swapped bodies with my husband. Whoa, it actually worked. This is insane. My husband shouted in excitement. Haha, being a woman is awesome. From now on, I'm gonna live the good life. He stood in front of the mirror, admiring his new body, practically glowing with joy. Then he turned to me, raised an eyebrow, and gave me a smug, greasy grin. Hubby, starting tomorrow, you're gonna suffer a little, okay? His tone was light and lilting, full of mischief and pride. He couldn't hide how thrilled he was. I barely spared him a glance before closing my eyes to sleep, not even bothering to respond. Suffer? Let's just see if he's still smiling after tomorrow. You just don't know how good you've got it. Stay home all day. Nap when you want. Snack when you want. Tons of time to chill. Sure, my mom gives you a hard time, but if you just sweeten her up a little, play along, life'd be great. Can't even manage this tiny household? You wouldn't last a day at my job. He kept muttering on, practically giddy with joy. I let him have his fun. Let him talk. Without living it, he'll never understand. And me? I chose to sleep early, rest well for what's to come. Chapter 5. My body clock woke me at 5 a.m. Out of habit, I started to get up, but then I remembered. I'm not the woman anymore. Breakfast? Not my problem. I turned off the alarm and stayed in bed. My husband, now in my body, was out cold, sleeping like a rock, and I didn't bother waking him. Because someone else would. Sure enough, about 10 minutes later. Slam, the door burst open, even without opening my eyes. I could feel the rage radiating from his mother. Lisa, get up right now. She yelled and shoved him, hard, but he was still deep asleep. No reaction. She snapped, grabbed his ear and yanked him awake. Ow, Mom, what the hell? It's the middle of the night. He groaned, rubbing his sleepy eyes, confused by the darkness outside. Don't play dumb. Get up and make breakfast. My son has to go to work soon. What? You gonna let your man leave hungry? How did he end up marrying such a lazy slob? She roared, voice like a drill sergeant. My husband blinked, dazed. Oh, right. I'm the woman now. He muttered, the reality starting to sink in. He checked his phone. Ugh. It's only 5 o'clock. Isn't that too early for breakfast? He yawned and mumbled, just let me sleep a bit more. I'll make it later. Then he rolled over and went back to sleep. Big mistake. His mom's eyes went wide. Her jaw dropped in shock. Lisa, are you trying to rebel? Get your lazy butt up now. She bellowed, like a lion charging into battle. Next thing I knew, my husband was being dragged out of bed by his ear. Mom, take it easy. We've got time. 6 o'clock is fine. Come on. Time? My poor boy busts his back working every day, and you can't even make a pot of soup. You delay his breakfast, and you'll regret it. Her lecture echoed through the hall. I smiled faintly, and so it begins. I thought I wouldn't be able to sleep. But somehow, lying in bed, I actually dozed off. By the time I woke up again, my husband had already placed all the breakfast dishes on the table. Son, you're awake. Hurry, wash up and eat. I even told Lisa to make your favorite chicken soup. His mom said, face brimming with maternal warmth. She even ladled out a bowl for him herself. Honestly, it felt weird seeing her smile at me so gently. It was the first time I'd seen such kindness from her. As for my husband, just one morning, and the energy from last night was completely gone. Mommy! Mommy! Right then, our 5-year-old daughter woke up, calling out for me nonstop. Instinctively, I wanted to rush to her, but then came the voice, "Son, what are you doing? Go wash your face and eat. The child's your wife's responsibility. You're a grown man, what do you know about taking care of kids?" His mom barked, clearly annoyed. I snapped back to reality. Right, we'd switched bodies. When my husband still didn't move, his mom smacked him on the back. "What are you staring at? Go! Can't do housework. Can't raise kids, what can you do? Oh. I'm going now." He glanced at me with a pitiful look, then shuffled off to the kids' room. By the time I finished freshening up and entered the room, our daughter stood barefoot on the cold floor, her clothes half on, hair a tangled mess, while my husband struggled helplessly to comb her hair. I couldn't bear to watch. "Let me." I picked her up and quickly dressed her, clothes, socks, shoes. And in under a minute, I tied her hair into 2 neat pigtails. "I finally get what you go through every day," my husband muttered in defeat. "You spoil her too much." His mom snapped. "A man tying a kid's hair? Aren't you embarrassed? What kind of husband are you?" At breakfast, my husband reached into the soup for a piece of meat. Whack! His mom smacked his hand with her chopsticks. "Eat, eat, eat, that's all you know. What about your wife and daughter? Huh? What kind of woman eats first before feeding her family? So greedy." He looked at me, full of grievance, clearly hoping I'd speak up for him. I ignored him and ate calmly, as if I hadn't seen anything. How many times had he done the exact same to me? Meanwhile, his mom kept piling all his favorite dishes into my bowl. In the 7 years since we got married, this was the first time I'd enjoyed a meal like this. After eating, I dabbed my mouth with a napkin and said, "I'm heading to work. I'll drop our daughter off at kindergarten on the way." "No, you can't go to work," my husband blurted out. I looked at him. His eyes darted nervously, his face flustered, clearly hiding something. "Looks like the mistress who called yesterday is from his company." I made the mental connection immediately. Now he's worried? A bit late for that. What are you even talking about? If I don't work, are you going to support the family? His mom snapped before he could say anything else. "You've been spoiled for too long." She scolded him like a kid. He ignored her and pulled me into the room. "Lisa, are you nuts? You can't handle my job, you'll mess everything up. Look, let's just switch back. I'll go to work." I smiled. "We just switched bodies, and you want to go back already? No way. Didn't you say being a woman was great? What? Can't handle even a single morning?" I curled my lips into a soft smile. He got annoyed. "No, I just need a bit of time to adjust, okay?" He snapped, trying to save face. I didn't expose his bluff, just stared at him in silence. Work's not like house chores, there's no room for error. If you mess things up, how am I supposed to fix it later? Tell you what, just take a few days off, rest. Seeing that I wouldn't budge, he softened his tone. "A few days won't cut it. I can't stay unemployed forever. Relax. I'll be careful. Don't forget, I majored in interior design too. I've worked before, I might even be better than you." With that, I turned and left, not giving him a chance to talk back. Chapter 6. I rushed all the way to the company. Just as I got to the office, someone knocked on the door. A woman with voluminous curls, blazing red lips, dressed in a fitted business blazer and a skirt that barely covered her thighs, burst through the door and threw herself into my arms. "Baby, what's wrong with you? Why did you break up with me out of nowhere? Did that old hag of yours find out about us?" She wrapped her arms around my neck, voice sweet and seductive. "Break up? Looks like Eric sensed something was off and sent her a message in advance, trying to cover his tracks." I frowned, instinctively wanting to push her away, but then I realized this was an opportunity. My eyes turned cold. "Who told you to call her last night?" I shoved her off and walked to the desk. pulling out my phone, pretending to check emails while secretly opening the recording app. I just want to be with you. She blinked tear-filled eyes, and fat tears rolled down her cheeks. You told me she's boring, rigid, and you haven't loved her in a long time. So why not divorce her and be with me? Or, were you just playing with me all along? A classic pretentious coquette. The weak, helpless, madly in love act? She nailed it. Even as a woman, I almost felt sorry for her. No wonder a jerk like Eric fell for it. Okay, don't cry. It breaks my heart to see you like this. I handed her a tissue. I know how you feel, but now's not the right time. If you really want us to be together, give me a big, healthy baby boy. My mom will help us after that. I coaxed her with a gentle voice. Once she stopped crying and smiled again, I told her that things at home were tense and I'd changed phones, so not to call the usual number. After sending her away, I installed a surveillance camera in the office, recording plenty of intimate footage between the two of them. And just as I finished, Eric called. Babe, I really can't do this anymore. The moment you left, I didn't even get to breathe. Mom had me washing dishes, mopping floors, doing laundry. I finally finished cleaning the house, tried to rest a bit, and she yelled at me to go buy groceries and cook lunch. Please call her and tell her we're ordering takeout today, okay? I haven't had a single break. I'm dying here. He sounded exhausted and miserable, no trace of his usual charm. Can't handle it already? It's only just begun. When our daughter was born, his mom barely glanced at her in the hospital and left. Didn't help at all during postpartum recovery. When maternity leave ended, I asked her to help watch the baby. She sneered and called the child a waste of money. With no choice, I quit my job to care for the family. When our daughter turned 3 and started kindergarten, his mom showed up with her luggage, saying she'd retire here. I strongly opposed it, but Eric insisted it was his duty as a son. I told him I wasn't asking him to neglect his mother, just to live separately to reduce conflicts. We could still help when needed, but he brushed it off, saying, "She raised me all these years. What's wrong with her living with us for a few days?" A few days? She moved in and never left, and every time I brought it up, he had 1,000 excuses, or accused me of not being tolerant. She's an elder. She raised you. You should give in to her. Well then, I gave his own words back to him. When she first moved in, she tormented me so badly I could barely stand. I asked him for help. What did he say? Just be nice to her. She's not hard to get along with. Since she's so easy, he can get along with her all he wants. I hung up and threw myself into work. I didn't need to achieve anything for that jerk Eric. But this was a good opportunity to rebuild my career. After all, I had studied interior design and had experience before quitting to raise our child. By noon, I'd fully gotten back into the flow. I was confident I could handle the job. During lunch, the mistress came by to invite me out. I hated her, but still agreed. When you're busy, time flies. Before I knew it, it was nearly 5. I quickly called Eric to remind him to pick up our daughter. Sure enough, he forgot. Chapter 7. That night when I got home, I was greeted warmly. The bath was ready. The food was hot and delicious. I didn't have to worry about a single thing. Now this is what life should be like. My mother-in-law, as usual, started complaining, listing all the things her daughter-in-law had done wrong. Unlike Eric, who always brushed her off, I actually listened with interest. After all, she was now torturing her own son. After dinner, she put on her usual act, saying she'd do the dishes. Eric's eyes lit up, clearly thinking he was off the hook. I smiled. Mom, you're getting older. How could we let you tire yourself out? Come on, put that down. That's what my wife is for. I beamed as I spoke. Even gave Eric a light slap on the arm. What are you spacing out for? Hurry up and clean. It's getting late. I threw his old words back at him, word for word. His pupils dilated in shock, staring at me as if he couldn't accept the reality. He opened his mouth, trying to say something, but I cut him off. Sweetheart, you weren't feeling well yesterday. Don't tell me you're still sick today? That shut down his excuse completely. After a long silence, he finally gave in, reluctantly clearing the table. Unlike how Eric used to be, gaming all night while ignoring everything, I went to spend time with our daughter. That's when the doorbell rang. Chapter 8. Mom. I missed you so much. Just hearing the voice, I knew it was my sister-in-law. I stepped out with my daughter in my arms and saw her hugging her mother tightly. All cozy and sweet. Bro, why are you taking care of the kid? Where's my sister-in-law? You spoil her way too much. She came bouncing in, and the first thing out of her mouth was just ugh, annoying. I frowned and fired right back. She's my wife. If I don't spoil her, should I spoil you? Seriously? This woman married out already, and she still comes back constantly freeloading, eating for free, and now even has the nerve to belittle me? She's the one who's been spoiled rotten. Right then, my husband, Eric, came out of the kitchen, having just finished the dishes. Hey, sis, you're here. He smiled wide, clearly happy to see her, but she didn't even look at him, just clung to Mom's arm, pouting and whining like a pro. Mom, I'm hungry. I want crab, crawfish, braised ribs, and some steamed fish. Pretty please, will you make them for me? My mother-in-law melted instantly. Of course, I'll cook it all for you. She looked like the sun just rose in her eyes, and I thought to myself, well, someone's in for a world of pain. Sure enough, the next second she barked. Lisa, did you hear that? Your sister-in-law hasn't eaten dinner yet. Go out and buy groceries now and start cooking. Eric was stunned. The joy on his face vanished instantly, replaced by utter misery. His sister grinned triumphantly, her voice dripping with honey. Mom, you're the best. Then she shot a nasty glance at me, clearly still mad I talked back to her earlier. I almost laughed out loud. If only she knew she was actually tormenting her own brother. She'd probably choke on that smug grin. Lil sis, it's late. Just grab a snack or something. Your bro. He caught himself and quickly corrected. I've been working all day. I'm exhausted. Can't we just order delivery? But of course, she wouldn't have it. She grabbed Mom's arm and whined, on the verge of tears. Mom, what does that mean? Is she trying to get rid of me? She doesn't want me around? My mother-in-law's face twisted with rage. She dares? A guest comes over and doesn't even get fed? That's your family values? I told you I was against this marriage. If you don't want to be part of this family anymore, just get out. Before, whenever she said that, I'd panic like crazy. I used to be so obsessed with my husband that I'd immediately apologize, grovel, and try to win their approval. I thought that if I was kind and sincere enough, they'd accept me eventually. But what did I get? They treated me worse. And my husband ended up cheating. The whole thing's just a massive joke on my past self. Mom, what does this have to do with values? She's a grown woman. If she's hungry, she can figure it out herself. Showing up late and demanding a 4-course seafood meal? That's what I call rude. Eric snapped angrily. Shut up. I cut in coldly. She's my sister. You don't get to lecture her. You're home all day doing nothing, so what if you cook one extra meal? They're my family. Can't you be a little more tolerant? I already bust my ass at work every day, and now I have to stress over stupid things at home too? What? Is this still not enough for you? I let him have it, full force. He stood there in shock, eyes wide, mouth slightly open, clearly caught off guard. He looked like he wanted to argue back, but no words came out. What are you waiting for? Go buy groceries and cook. I snapped. Chapter 9. It was past 11 p.m. when Eric finally dragged himself into the room. He looked awful, shoulders slumped, face drained, completely beaten down. Honey, maybe we should switch back. Switch back? No way. I finally had a taste of peace. Why would I go back into that emotional war zone? Oh, didn't you say being a woman was easy? What? Giving up already? I raised an eyebrow and smiled, intentionally teasing him. As expected, that lit a fire under him again. He straightened up, saying it was just an adjustment period, and once he smoothed things over with Mom, his good days would finally begin. To be fair, under all that pressure, he really did come up with something. Wait, my mom only cares about boys. If I get pregnant, she'll wait on me hand and foot. He said this with genuine excitement, then suddenly lunged toward me. I dodged him swiftly, in his confused, shocked gaze. I said calmly, my period's been late for a while. His face lit up like a Christmas tree. So you mean I'm pregnant? I nodded, keeping a straight face. Just a guess, though not confirmed. He immediately started putting on shoes to go out and buy a test. I quickly stopped him. What's the rush? Go tomorrow. If it turns out negative, at least you'll still have some wiggle room. After all, we've got a real show planned for tomorrow morning. If he confirms the pregnancy tonight, I won't get to enjoy it. He paused, thought it through, and agreed. Given his mom's temper, if he came back with a negative result, she'd probably scold him so hard he'd start questioning his entire existence. Chapter 10. The next morning, Eric got up early. Clearly, he was trying to impress his mother, hoping to win her over with effort. Oh honey, why didn't you sleep in a bit? It's still early. The moment she saw me up as well, she immediately turned to him with concern. I casually brushed her off, saying I just got up to grab some water. Eric threw me a resentful look and stomped off to the kitchen. Not even a second later. Put that down. You greedy pig! Those crabs and shrimp are for your sister to take home. His mother's screeching voice rang out. She scolded him while quickly packing up all the leftovers, crab, ribs, shrimp, everything from last night, into containers. Turns out, Eric just wanted to reheat the leftovers for breakfast. Too bad, he got chewed out before he could even warm the pan. She came over uninvited late at night. I cooked a whole feast, and now she's taking everything home? This is way over the line. He finally lost his temper and snapped in frustration. I wasn't even surprised. It was always like this. Whenever the sister came over, she'd order a whole table of the most expensive dishes, and I'd be the one cooking. Then she'd devour everything like a starving hyena, and still pack up bags to take home. I'd mentioned it to Eric before, but he never cared. He'd just say I was petty over a bit of food. Now that he was the one getting shafted? Different story. Without this body swap system, how would he ever see the true, ugly faces of his beloved family? She's my daughter, I'll give her whatever I want. Who do you think you are? Huh? His mom instantly snapped like a rabid cat, shrieking at the top of her lungs. Then she added, full of mockery, daughter-in-law, you're too much. You should be more generous, not stingy. It's just food. Let your sister-in-law take what she wants. I swear, you must be bored out of your mind to care about nonsense like this. I stepped into the doorway, speaking slowly and calmly. Well then, how lucky for you to have such a good daughter-in-law. Right then, little sis shuffled in, hair a mess, slippers dragging across the floor. What's with the yelling so early? Sis-in-law, can't you give it a rest? Some of us actually have jobs. You know, you woke me up. Eric looked at me with a complicated expression. He didn't say a word. Good, he deserved it. Now he knows what I had to put up with all these years. Chapter 11. That evening when I got home, I saw my mother-in-law bustling around in the kitchen. Meanwhile, my husband was lounging on the couch playing with his phone. On the coffee table next to him sat bananas, apples, strawberries, an entire fruit platter. Practically, needless to say, he must have confirmed the pregnancy. Sure enough, just as I had that thought, my mother-in-law walked out of the kitchen beaming from ear to ear. Such great news! Your wife is pregnant. Really? That's wonderful. Mom, I'll have to trouble you a lot over the next few months. I put on a delighted and surprised expression. Just like that, my husband finally got the life he'd always dreamed of. No chores, eat whatever he wanted, watch TV and play with his phone all day. The whole family treated him like royalty. But paradise didn't last long. Barely a month in, the pregnancy symptoms started to hit. Constant vomiting. He couldn't stand the smell of fish or smoke. Heck, even plain food made him nauseous. My mother-in-law tried every recipe under the sun to help him eat, but he still puked it all back up. Eventually, he was even vomiting bile. Most women gain weight during pregnancy. He, on the other hand, kept losing it everywhere except the belly. Once the nausea phase passed, things seemed to get better. He could eat again, and oh, did he eat. My mother-in-law stuffed him with meat, soups, tonics, afraid the baby wouldn't get enough nutrition. He didn't turn anything down. He feasted like a king, and sure enough, the baby grew fast. By month 6, he was aching all over, back pain, hip pain, barely able to straighten his waist. By month 7, even turning over in bed was a struggle, and sleep became nearly impossible. By month 8, his feet were swollen, and he had to pee constantly, barely done one trip to the bathroom before he had to go again. He was irritable all the time. By month 9, anxiety took over. He was scared about labor, afraid of complications. No matter how I tried to reassure him, nothing worked. Sometimes he even cried, begging me to swap bodies back with him. I was so annoyed I finally lied. You can only switch back after a full year. That did the trick. He stopped pestering me about it, but he still couldn't sleep. Now and then I'd wake up at night and find him sitting on the edge of the bed, staring blankly out the window. Who knows what he was thinking about? Chapter 12. On the day he went into labor, he surprisingly wasn't nervous at all. In fact, he was quite calm, telling his mom to grab all the hospital essentials, and ordering me to hurry and call a cab. Maybe it was because he thought he'd finally be free after giving birth. The whole way there, he looked surprisingly relaxed, as if a weight were about to be lifted. Too bad he was dead wrong if he thought birth was the end of his suffering. We rushed to the hospital, and he was quickly wheeled into the delivery room. Unfortunately, since he'd eaten so well during pregnancy, the baby had grown too big, he couldn't deliver naturally. A nurse ran out in a panic and asked the family to sign a C-section consent form. My mother-in-law instantly panicked. No, absolutely not. If it turns out to be a girl, how can she have another child? The nurse tried to explain that C-sections don't prevent future pregnancies, but my mother-in-law refused to listen. Don't lie to me. After a C-section you need at least 2 years to recover. She's already 33, a geriatric pregnancy. How can we wait that long? On the hospital bed, my husband cried out in pain. Cut me open. Just do the C-section. No, his mom yelled. Lisa, you have to do natural birth. It's better for the baby. If others can give birth naturally, so can you. Don't be such a wimp. My husband looked at me with tears in his eyes, totally helpless. It was my child too. There's no way I'd let him risk his life. I'll sign it. No, son, don't. I ignored her and signed without hesitation. About 30 minutes later, the baby was born healthy, a girl, and just like that, my mother-in-law's smile collapsed. I told you not to do the C-section, but you just had to. And for what? Another useless girl. We're doomed. How am I going to explain this to your late father when I die? She kept ranting and raving. A nurse came out to ask if we wanted pain relief meds. Before I could say anything, my mother-in-law snapped. No need. She gave birth to a worthless girl and still dares to ask for painkillers? All women suffer during childbirth, only she's this dramatic. Fine. No pain meds then. It wasn't my body, after all, and since the baby was a girl, my mother-in-law stormed off without a second glance. The upside? No more nagging from her. The downside? From discharge onward, my husband had to take care of the baby alone. The newborn woke every 2 hours. At night, I helped out a bit, he only had to breastfeed. But during the day, he was on his own, with stitches in his belly. He still had to nurse the baby. A few days in, he was already breaking down. That was still my body after all. If he didn't rest properly during postpartum, it could leave permanent damage. I'd suffered the same fate last time when I had to work during confinement and ended up with chronic issues. This time, I was determined to heal. After making sure he got the full taste of the hardship, I hired a maternity nanny, and like that, the pain was forgotten. With the nanny around, all he did was eat and sleep. He didn't have to worry about the baby at all. He was practically living like royalty. But after 2 months, once he'd fully recovered, I ended the nanny's contract. At first, he scoffed. Please, how hard can it be to take care of a baby? Being a woman is easy. But it didn't take long before he was at his breaking point again. Chapter 13. One evening, a little more than 3 months after the second baby was born, I came home from work to chaos. The little one was wailing. Our older daughter stood in her room not knowing what to do, and Eric lay on the bed clutching his belly, white as a sheet. Before I could ask, he croaked. "Lisa, I'm dying. My head's killing me. Why does a period come with a fever?" I ignored him for the moment. First I scooped up our older girl, soothed her, gave her a cookie and a toy. Once she calmed down, I checked the baby. She'd soiled herself. I cleaned her up quickly, then mixed some brown sugar water and grabbed a pain pill for Eric. My body has a quirk. Every period day comes with low-grade fever and a migraine. After the pill and the drink he improved. I handed him the baby to nurse. Once she drifted off, I took our older girl out of the room. Dinner still had to be made. Judging by his condition, I wasn't counting on him. I set a little stool for our daughter in the kitchen, cooked while chatting about her day at school. Bit by bit she brightened up. With both kids finally asleep, Eric leaned against the headboard and said hesitantly, "Han, it's been a year. Let's switch bodies back, okay?" Switch back? Not a chance. 7 years of marriage, I'd given everything to him and this family. Even when he ignored me and his relatives bullied me, I convinced myself he loved me. I believed if I worked hard enough, his family would eventually accept me. And what did he do? Zero empathy, and an affair on top. Without the body swap system, I don't know if I'd have had the courage to stay alive. Now he wants to trade back? Too late. Seeing my silence, he pulled a long face. "This baby's impossible. If this goes on, I'll end up depressed." He raked a hand through his hair, looking utterly spent. It's non-stop, hungry cry, wet cry, poopy cry, hot cold cry. I haven't slept a single full night since she was born. Cooking while holding her, mopping while holding her, even peeing's a nightmare. I'm losing my mind. This is inhuman. He poured out all his misery. "Please, babe, let's switch back," he begged. "Didn't you say being a woman is easy? Living the dream?" My eyes stayed cool. He slapped his own cheek. I was wrong. Totally wrong. Now I get how hard women have it. Motherhood really is heroic. Then came the promises. "Swap back and I'll treat you right. My mom will never meddle again. From now on, you call the shots. I'll follow your lead in everything." Such a beautiful picture. If I'd heard this back then, I'd have cried with joy. But ever since that mistress phoned to taunt me, all my illusions about love died. He fidgeted under my stare. "Say something, you're scaring me." Guilty conscience. "Huh? Remember the day we switched?" I asked quietly. He nodded. "That day was my fault." He blurted. "I shouldn't have let mom nag you. It'll never happen again. I swear." He even raised 2 fingers like a scout's pledge. I looked away, waited a moment, then said, "If you want to switch back, we divorce. The kids stay with me. You walk away with nothing." His pupils blew wide. He stared at me as if frozen. "Babe, you're joking, right?" "I'm serious." "But why? We're fine. Tell me what I did wrong and I'll fix it. You know my heart belongs only to you." I almost laughed. Such acting, from the man who had already planned to dump me. I held his gaze. "Eric, the only way you get your body back is on my terms." He tried one last gambit. "Divorce is huge. Think of the kids. And my mom. You know how she is." Nice try, using his mother as a threat. I said nothing more, just reached into my work bag, pulled out a stack of photographs, and tossed them onto his lap. Explicit, intimate shots fluttered everywhere. He stared at them, stunned, then at me. You found out?" "I got the mistress's call the very day we swapped." I answered flatly. Panic flickered in his eyes. He babbled. "That was a misunderstanding. My assistant had a crush. She seduced me. Not the other way. Lisa, you're the only one I love. I made a mistake all men make. Please forgive me." I shook my head, cold as ice. "Doesn't matter. Swap back only if we divorce. You leave with nothing, and both kids stay with me." The day we switched, I'd already decided. Either stay in his body forever, or let him walk out empty-handed. Chapter 14. Impossible. You can have the kids. But there's no way I'll give up all our property. Of course. The first thing he cared about was his own interests. I felt nothing but disappointment. Then you can stay a woman forever, I said coldly, my gaze slicing through the air. His face flushed with fury, but he couldn't find the words to argue back. He simply stared at me, eyes burning with rage. After a long silence, he softened. Lisa, don't be so impulsive. There's still something between us. I made a mistake, but I swear it won't happen again. Let's give our marriage another chance, okay? I didn't reply, so he kept pleading, voice full of contrition. The kids are still so young, one is 5, the other barely 3 months. Yes, I was wrong, but the children need their father. Do you really want them to grow up in a broken home? Lisa, please forgive me. I truly regret everything. Just give me one more chance. If I mess up again, we can divorce then. He sounded so sincere, anyone else might have believed him. But not me. He wasn't remorseful, he was just afraid of losing everything. If he had agreed to the divorce cleanly, I might have had some respect for him. But this? It only made me despise him more. Then show me you've changed, I said. His eyes lit up instantly. I knew it, you still love me. Lisa, I promise I'll treat you right, give you a good life. So, let's switch back, okay? There it was. That's what he really wanted all along. No need to switch, you can still show you've changed like this, I said with a smile. His face fell. I've taken care of this home for 7 straight years. It's your turn now, unless. Of course. Your remorse is all a lie. His face grew darker. But I'm a man. Genetically, I'm not wired to raise kids. Women are naturally more patient and gentle. You really think someone like me, a clueless brute, can handle raising babies? You wouldn't feel safe leaving them with me, would you? He forced a smile, trying to charm me. No, I feel very safe, I replied sweetly. You're their father, not a stranger. What's there to worry about? Unless, of course, you'd actually hurt your own children, trying to guilt-trip me using the kids? Keep dreaming, so long as I stayed firm. He'd never regain the upper hand. His face turned bright red with frustration. He couldn't even speak. Seeing that I was dead set on divorce, he finally gave in. Lisa, we've been married. That counts for something, right? Yes. I was wrong, but we had love once. Let's compromise. I'll take the house, and you get everything else. Fair? He dropped the act. His eyes were filled with nothing but greed. The house, our most valuable asset. What a schemer. Kids and the house stay with me. You can have the rest. I took a small step back. If I pushed him too hard, he might fake reconciliation and stab me in the back later. Being a man is great, but after living as a woman for decades, I've gotten used to it. Besides, just the thought of spending the rest of my life stuck in his skin, ugh, it makes my stomach turn. Chapter 15. Once everything was agreed upon, we went to get the divorce certificate the next day. As promised, I also swapped bodies back with him, to prevent his mother from showing up and causing trouble. I sold the house immediately and bought a new one close to the kids' kindergarten. It was only 80 square meters, not much space after accounting for shared areas. But I could stay close to both children and still have money left over. That was already more than I could ask for. If it weren't for the system, Eric would have kicked me out with nothing. No home, no money, and no daughters. I couldn't just sit around and live off my savings. I had to go back to work. Since I needed help with the kids, I called my parents from back home and asked them to come stay with me. When my family found out about the divorce, they were heartbroken for me, especially my dad, older brother, and younger brother, 3 grown men, all furious and eager to fight on my behalf. I quickly stopped them. Only after they saw I wasn't upset, truly indifferent to the divorce, did they calm down. We agreed that my parents would help care for the kids, and I would pay them 10,000 yuan per year. My sister-in-law had no objections to that. With their support, I could finally focus on work. After spending a year as a man, I'd gained more than enough hands-on experience in interior design. I wanted to stay far away from that scumbag Eric and start a new life. But he wasn't done trying to destroy me. I sent out dozens of job applications, but not a single company in the industry would hire me. After digging deeper, I found out why. The CEO of Jinding had spread the word in the industry to blacklist me. Jean Can, CEO of Jinding Decoration Company, Ltd., is a well-known female powerhouse. That's the company where Eric works. During my time in his body, I could tell she really favored him, but I never imagined they were this close. The fact that Eric could convince her to blacklist me, it was despicable. If they were going to be ruthless, then I wouldn't show any mercy either. I dressed carefully and went straight to Huamao Decoration Company, a top competitor of Jinding. At first, the CEO refused to see me. After all, to him, I was just a stay-at-home mom with no proper resume and totally out of touch with the industry. But I didn't give up. I told the receptionist I had a way to secure a partnership with Jiangxing's #1 conglomerate, Longting Group. No one could turn down such a tempting offer. Sure enough, the CEO of Huamao agreed to meet with me. He promised that if I could win over the client, I'd be hired immediately and appointed as manager of Interior Design Department 3. Before the body swap, I had met Longting's CEO by chance and had the opportunity to work with him. Originally, I hadn't planned to steal such a major client, but since Eric played dirty, he couldn't blame me for hitting back. I polished up all the designs I had made previously, organized them, and waited outside Jinding's office building. As soon as the CEO of Longting appeared, I stepped forward and smiled. "Hello, Mr. Paul. My design incorporates blueberry elements. I believe you'll like it." "Lisa, what are you doing here?" Eric's voice cut in. "You're just a housewife. What do you know about design? Even if you could design something, do you really think someone like Mr. Paul would bother looking at your proposal? This is just a total waste of time." The disdain in his eyes couldn't have been more obvious. But before Eric could even finish his sentence, Mr. Paul casually took my proposal. The slap in the face couldn't have been louder. Eric's face turned stiff, and he gave me a scornful look. "Don't get cocky. Even if Mr. Paul reads it, it doesn't mean he'll actually use it." "Not bad. Very good. Which company are you from?" "The new project. You're in charge." Mr. Paul's endorsement stunned everyone around, especially Eric, who looked at me like he'd seen a ghost, muttering over and over, "No, no way. This can't be happening. Mr. Paul, don't trust her. She's just a housewife. She's never worked a single day. That design must be plagiarized." Unable to handle the humiliation, he started slinging mud at me. "Eric, you better watch your mouth. If you keep slandering me, don't blame me for taking you to court." I cut him off coldly. Mr. Paul's sharp gaze landed on me. "How did you know my mother liked blueberries?" I feigned surprise. "I didn't know. I just noticed that every issue of your finance magazine features blueberries on the cover. I assumed you liked them, so I incorporated them into the design." I lied. The real reason was something he told me himself in a past conversation, but he was pleased with the answer. Just like that, I successfully stole the client. True to his word, the CEO of Huamao made me manager of the 3rd design department, and with my new position, I hit the ground running, relentlessly poaching every client I knew of during my time at Jinding. The CEO of Jinding thought Eric had leaked confidential information and immediately fired him. Chapter 16. Enraged. Eric came storming up to me. "Lisa, you're the most vicious woman I've ever known. How could I have married such a snake?" His face was twisted like a monster ready to kill. "I'm vicious? I gave you the best years of my youth. And what did you do? You cheated, let your family abuse and insult me, and even after the divorce, you tried to blacklist me. The most vicious one has always been you." I lashed out, roaring in fury. How could I have ever loved someone this vile? I was disgusted at my own past. Women are meant to serve their husbands and raise kids. Everyone lives like that. Why are you so different? He sneered in reply. "Get those clients back. I don't care how, or I'll expose your little body swap system secret to the world." His eyes glinted with cold, poisonous malice, like a snake ready to strike. "Go ahead," I answered flatly. "A body swap system? Who would believe something that absurd? Even if he had recordings or videos, people would just assume it was CGI. "Lisa, I hope you die. I'll kill you myself." Blinded by rage, he lunged at me with a knife. But I was prepared. I pulled out pepper spray, blasting him in the eyes. He screamed in pain, staggering backward. "You bitch! I'll kill you!" I took the chance to escape. Passers-by rushed in and pinned him down. What awaited him was a cold, steel cell. As for me, my future was bright. A brilliant life lay ahead.